Don't get mad at me, but I'd rather have this as my ringtone than the Mingle song from Squid Game Season 2. As always, make sure to follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at It's Lielers. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, my intro is all messed up because you guys already know what's been going on behind the scenes. I usually say, don't forget to follow my TikTok. But you know what? Fuck it. Why not? And also, do not forget to follow me on my TikTok at Lielers. For those that are outside of America, Lielers on TikTok. Well, actually, I don't even know because literally, okay, so we are actually doing audio podcasts now because I don't have time to edit videos and we're already 2 weeks behind of so much content. So yes, I am recording literally on January 19th, the day that supposedly TikTok was going to get banned, and it's not. I can access my TikTok like nothing. So in case you guys who are probably not aware of what's been going on TikTok. So yesterday, I would say at 9:30 Central Time, because that's where I'm at, TikTok shut down. It was supposed to shut down supposedly at midnight, so making it, January 19. But TikTok said, you know what? No, we're going to end up doing this earlier than expected. And I think everybody was like going to sleep early. Hell, I even went to sleep early because I usually go to sleep while watching TikTok. And same thing, waking up while watching TikTok. But everybody's morning was different. I was actually productive. So in case you guys didn't know, next week there won't be a podcast episode because I will be in New York. Well, actually, I will be already back and editing. So yes, there will be a blog video of my birthday vacation in New York City. So this morning I was basically packing. I was like, I have nothing else to do. I might as well start packing instead of, leaving it all last minute like everybody else does. But no, yeah, like next thing I know, I don't know why, I decided to just sit down, go on my phone, and I didn't even go like on Instagram. I was mostly like on X. So yeah, follow me on X. You might see some of those tweets from the day before TikTok was banned and all of that. But when I went on the X app, I didn't realize again TikTok was, starting to reboot up. So I decided to close X, and then I was like, just for one more try, because my reflex, I swear to God, my brain automatically wants to open TikTok because I've been on TikTok for the past 5 years to be exact. Probably more now that I think about it. I don't even know. But I decided to open it knowing that I'm still going to get the whole message saying, oh yeah, TikTok's been shut down, this and that. But for some reason, I didn't get that message. And then it says something went wrong, press the refresh button. And I was like, wait, where's the message? I was like, what is going on? So I click the refresh button and all of a sudden my TikTok feed was back up and I started flipping out. I started like texting, messaging everybody that I know because we've been all sad that, TikTok was going to get banned and all. But no, I'm over there messaging everybody like, TikTok is back. This is not a drill, sorry guys, I really love TikTok. That's the thing. And at first, I was like, so this is how it feels like to be addicted to something, because you're so used to doing the same thing over and over again. And that's how I was with TikTok. Again, up in the morning, first thing I do, open TikTok. And so I was like, man, this is going to be like a sad withdrawal for me. But no, yeah, we finally got TikTok back up. And again, I'm not going to get into all of the stuff for the same reason that it's all political and I don't like talking about politics. I know, for my friends that, I do talk to on a personal level, they understand my political views. But for here in this podcast, we are not going to get into it. I am here to entertain you guys and keep you guys updated on what you may have missed in pop culture. But yes, follow my TikTok, okay? Please, at Lielers, because yeah, there was a video that I posted literally last night where I was saying, oh, I know this is not goodbye, maybe a see you soon, yada, yada, yada. But that's the thing. I'm going to talk to you guys really quick on what's been going on for the past 2 weeks before we start the episode. So that same video where I'm saying, my TikTok goodbyes, whatever, I'm telling you guys that I have an update of the next watch party for those that are in Houston. And if you guys are listening that are in the Houston area, listen up. So the next watch party is obviously going to be during Royal Rumble, and the location, I got it from Apollo HOU. They're on TikTok as well. They're on Instagram. That's where I follow them. But the location is going to be at Pitch 25. This location is literally near downtown Houston. It looks like doors are going to be open at 3 p.m. And Apollo HOU did say, be there early for prime seating, early bird giveaways, costume contest, best sign contest, and an interactive wrestling experience for all wrestling fans. And yes, I will be in attendance. So if you guys are listening and happen to spot me there, feel free to say hi. I don't know, I say because I'm like, I don't think Houstonians are listening, but hey, so bring your friends, have fun. And this is the thing, Royal Rumble so far is gonna look hectic because this past 2 weeks we already have like a good amount of entrants, and they're really, really good. It's not like your typical Royal Rumble because the entrants are literally former world champs. We got Roman, we got John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso, LA Knight, and then Rey Mysterio. These are so far the confirmed entries. And then on the women's side, so far we only have Nia Jax as the only person that has been confirmed to be in the women's Royal Rumble. And then the other thing I wanted to make a quick announcement is that apparently I became an affiliate to WWE Shop. What does this mean? It means that if you go to my link tree and actually buy something from the WWE Shop using one of the links that I provided, I get money. So that helps me a lot. So in case if you guys need to stock up on, WWE merch, please go to my link tree. It helps me a lot. I don't know what happened, but apparently there has been like a certain amount of people that applied, and for some reason they chose me. And I kind of want to blame my TikTok because yes, I have so far 1.6 thousand followers. So that's why I'm like, I need TikTok because that one has a larger amount of followers. And again, if you have a TikTok but also have an Instagram, go follow me there too. Helps me a lot. But yeah, that's what I'm like. Every time you would see some videos here and there where I'm promoting WWE merch is because, I'm an affiliate. So yay! And with that being said, I just want to thank everybody that has been following me, because if it wasn't for y'all following me, I would not be in that position. So thank you guys so much. Now I'm gonna tune down the tone and mention like a little sad news that happened in my life. So last Saturday, unfortunately, due to the cold weather that we've been having here in Houston, I don't know if you guys know, but I had a skinny pig, and I say had because he passed away. And so I try my best to keep him warm as much as possible because I know since he doesn't have fur or anything, it was a little bit more delicate for him to get cold easily. And unfortunately, my boy Pollito had hypothermia, and I had to euthanize him that same morning. And I know euthanizing, people can see it as a negative topic only because it's like you're willingly killing your pet. And I just wanted to touch base on that because I know there's so many other people that have euthanized their pets and they have that guilt afterwards. Trust me, I felt guilty that whole weekend. And I'm going to get a little bit emotional and whatnot. But I feel like, at the end of the day, when you euthanize a pet, you're taking it off of its misery, but also you're not just waiting for any given moment for him to just pass on. And my thing is that I already had guinea pigs before that, have died, but I just waited for them to just pass on. I will hold them up close and just wait it out. But in other words, like with Pollito, for example, because, again, he had hypothermia, his whole body was cold. that's when I knew, oh shit, like he's not well. And I tried again to keep him as warm as possible, but his body temperature was still cold. Like I could feel him, and I'm pretty warm too, and I'm like, how come I'm warm but he isn't? So like for him to just like wait it out, I was like, no, I'm sorry, pollito, like I can't do this to you. And so yeah, I had to euthanize him. And so that's why I'm talking about this, because if in the future, God forbid though, if you guys ever have a pet that, you know, is just not feeling well at all, definitely go take it to the vet just to have a second opinion, because that's the first thing I did too. I'm like, maybe there is something that we can help pollito out. But because of my experience of having other guinea pigs die, and they died of old age, just so y'all know. But pollito, for him, I knew it was hypothermia because of his body temperature. I was like, let me see, let me get a second opinion. And the vet was like, yeah, no, it's done for. Like even with medicine, like something on its brain, like neurology speaking, like he's not gonna be the same anymore. And so yeah, I had no choice but to do so. And it's kind of sad because he was 2 years old. He's literally the same age as Cosmo. Like he was a couple months older than Cosmo. And you know, I wanted them to kind of like grow old together ish. But I only say ish because Cosmo's technically gonna outlive Pollito. But yeah, I felt shitty. So I'm kind of glad that, you know, last week I finished editing the video podcast. And I was like, all right, well, we don't have to record or anything. So yeah, and we're back here. Like, it's hard, trust me. Like, I really wish Pollito was still around, and I miss him so much. Like, oh, he was such a sweetheart. When I first held him, like whenever I was buying him, he just all of a sudden started licking my face. And ever since then, that's all he does. Every time you held him, he would just lick your face. And not even my oldest guinea pig has done that. And yeah, I fell in love with him. So yeah, I miss you, Pollito. And hopefully I'll be able to see you soon. Alright, so I don't want to make you all sad and depressed because of me. So this week we're going to be talking about the Golden Globe moments, the announcement of the Nintendo Switch 2, and what's been going on with everything on WWE. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this episode started. So my thoughts are with everybody that has been affected in the California wildfires. Like, I cannot believe the Palisades and the Eaton fires have not been contained. And that was something that I was prepared to talk about last week, but because of the ongoing updates, I'm like, I'm gonna just give you guys what's been happening fundraiser wise. So you are more than welcome to donate money to the Red Cross of America. They are the people that are helping those that have been affected by the wildfires. I know there has been so many celebrities that have been donating their own money for fire relief in their communities. And then there's an organization called Music Cares that are also trying to help the music community recover. Hell, even Ice Nine Kills released a t-shirt that looks like it's Ghostface dressed as a firefighter, and underneath it says heed the call for California, where 100 of the proceeds will go to the California Fire Foundation Wildlife and Disaster Relief Fund, which so far they raised over $100,000. So if you guys haven't had a chance to get yourself a shirt, definitely do so. And again, you will be helping the victims that are in need right now. What's crazy is that I saw a video posted by Sid Wilson, you know, from Slipknot, and he can actually see the smoke starting to spread on his area. And he did say on the captions, you know, grabbing the last couple of things I can, love to everyone, praying for you all. And then he posted an update saying, I'm off the mountain and safe. So hopefully these fires do end up getting contained. And, you know, at the end of the day, people still need to rebuild, because I saw literally neighborhoods of just burned down houses. And there are celebrities that have lost their homes. I think one of them was Heidi Montag, and then the other one was Paris Hilton. And yeah, it's kind of sad. Because of this wildfire, there has been delays in the entertainment industry, and there has been a lot of cancellations. Like, for example, the Critics' Choice Awards was gonna happen, but is now postponed. And then they also had scheduled like LA premieres from the movie Better Man, Wolfman, and Unstoppable, so they weren't able to promote the film in Los Angeles. So yeah, hopefully this again gets contained, and that way, you know, Hollywood can start focusing on rebuilding. Now let's shift the tone a little bit more happy now. So congratulations are in order for Zendaya and Tom Holland, because so far there hasn't been a confirmation by the duo, but people are already saying and reporting that they are now engaged. So Zendaya showed up at the red carpet at the Golden Globes, and I didn't even notice until people started pointing it out, where she's just casually showing off what it looks like an engagement ring. And people are saying, oh my God, you know, they're engaged. And I'm hoping they are, because I'm literally shipping their relationship. It's so cute and adorable. So hopefully the rumors are true. And I also noticed that Tom Holland did an interview, and the reason why he's not always with Zendaya, like in red carpet premieres, because he says he doesn't want to overshadow her. Like, it's her moment. And I think that's what Zendaya is also doing with Tom Holland. Like, that way, you know, the spotlight is focused solely on them. And since they're both gonna be in the upcoming Odyssey movie that Christopher Nolan is doing, hopefully then we will be able to see them in the red carpet together, maybe as a married couple, who knows. But yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm praying, hoping, yeah, they are engaged. So congratulations, I would say. Now let's go ahead and kick off the movies category, and the first thing we need to talk about is the official trailer for the movie Until Dawn. So technically 2 weeks ago, or you know, last week's episode, we talked about the most anticipating movies that are going to be coming out in 2025, and one of those movies on that list was Until Dawn. And I even mentioned, like, wait a second, where's this trailer? And all of a sudden it popped. So it is based on the game of the same exact title. Whenever you watch the trailer, it is giving you guys like the same vibe as the game, except on the game itself you get to choose the ending, but I feel like it's still gonna revolve into it, because the way how I saw the game whenever I played it, like, sure, I will make choice number 1 and it'll eventually lead me back to the same storyline if I were to choose choice number 2, you know, kind of like that. But the way how in this trailer is, it's like, okay, you're in the game, you die, you restart back to where you started. So it's kind of the same thing in a way, except you don't get to choose, probably. And then whenever you go back to the restart, where, you know, it's like, wait a second, you're actually conscious, like, okay, we just died, so it's all about choice. So instead of going this way, let me go that way and see if we can manage to escape this house that apparently they're entrapped in. So I was like, okay, it's kind of like the game, but either way, even though it is like a horror movie, it is not like, oh my God, it's anticipated. This is finally like the first horror movie where I'm like, I need to watch it. It's meh. So either way, definitely go check out the Until Dawn trailer. And then if you guys haven't even played the game, do so. It doesn't say when it's gonna get released. It just gives us the whole coming soon. So maybe the date that I got from IGN, supposedly it said April 25th. It might be wrong. So don't quote me from what I said on last week's episode. Anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. Gabriel Iglesias is now back on Netflix. So he released his new comedy special, Legend of Fluffy. I already watched it, and keep in mind this got released last Monday, and it was so funny. I highly recommend it. Tell me why. There was like one part where he was talking about how a couple was celebrating, I forgot how many years, for their wedding anniversary. And Gabriel Iglesias was not believing it, so he wanted to ask, like, hey, you know, like, how did y'all make it work? But it was hilarious how when he was describing the old man, that he was joking around, but then, like, apparently he tells his wife, like, laugh, woman. I don't know why I just started cracking up. I'm like, why is just that one little thing making me laugh so hard? But definitely go check it out. I highly recommend it. The next thing I wanted to talk about is a quick update of the upcoming Avatar movie, Fire and Ash. So James Cameron says that this next movie will be 3 hours long. I'm like, what is this? The Batman? You know, Matt Reeves' one? He also said that the Fire Clans are the antagonists. To top it off, he also did say Wind Traders will appear, which is a nomadic tribe that travels through the air. Literally, I went to the comment section where I saw this, which was at Culture Crave, and one person by Sanders Sinanis says that seems like Avatar The Last Airbender plot to me, and a lot of people do agree. Don't hate me, but I have not seen Avatar The Last Airbender, so I don't know what they're talking about. So anywho, if you guys are planning to watch this movie and have seen Avatar The Last Airbender, definitely do a compare contrast for me. Let me go ahead and move it along. There is a movie that's going to be coming out called In the Lost Lands, and it's giving me like a zombie vibe in a way. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because the movie actually released a poster, and I did not know that Dave Bautista and Mila Jovovich are gonna be in this movie. Apparently, this is based on the short story by George R.R. Martin, and I didn't realize that they released a trailer for it. I took a look at it, and I don't know, I feel like the CGI is still gonna give like a bad review for this movie. At the end of the trailer, it did say this winter only in theaters, but like IGN and other places are saying that this movie is gonna come out on March 7th. So I don't know. I'm tempted to watch it, but again, depending what the critics say will probably be the reason why I would or I would not go and watch this movie. Anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. I have two movies that were originally video games turning into films, and I'm gonna mention it in the movies category even though they're video games. One of them is Helldivers 2. That's what it says. So far, IGN confirmed that this film is currently in production and it's gonna be by Sony. And the first comment I see is by Zach Matson, except it's spelled with 440. Literally says they're making a Helldivers 2 film before the first. Then somebody replied by the account of Viper _ says, I feel like they'll make it about the first and maybe part of the second galactic war. I don't know. Do what you will with that information. Whenever the trailer does come out, we'll end up talking about it. The second film that has been confirmed is Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, what? So this one is going to be by PlayStation Studios and Columbia Pictures. Already one person by the name of Chef _ Belly says that they predict the best person to play Aloy in the movie should be Rose Leslie. In case if you guys do not know, that is Ygritte from Game of Thrones. And they posted what looks like a gif of her. And the way how it looks, I'm like, this is perfect casting. I agree. But again, only Sony will probably be the one that will confirm the casting, and we'll talk about it eventually. Now let me talk about Shrek 5 for a minute. I know the last time we talked about it, it was just that the movie got confirmed. The original cast members are going to be joining, but now we finally have a release date. So Shrek 5 is going to be released on December 23rd, 2026. Like, I get it. It's gonna get delayed probably because of the wildfires, but at the same time, I'm like, God damn it. I was really looking forward to Shrek 5 coming out in 2025, but I guess it is what it is. We're gonna be excited. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch it, and then hopefully it has a better plot than Shrek 4. I know some people are like, no, Shrek 4 was good, even Shrek 3, but I'm like, I want the same hype as we had with Shrek 2. That's what I want. That's what I'm expecting on Shrek 5. So anywho, let me go ahead and move it along. So the producer from 28 Years Later confirmed that Cillian Murphy will not be a part of the first film of the upcoming trilogy. Remember that 28 Years Later, I think, is gonna have like, I don't know, split into 3 parts probably. However, the producer did say that he is expected to appear on the second film, which has wrapped filming already. I like the comment that I see on this post, which again, this is from Culture Crave, and the person by the name of Louis Furman says, quote, I can kinda understand it. Give the first film to let us connect to the new characters without all of us focusing on Cillian's return, and then once the new characters are established, we can enjoy each appearance for the sequel. Well said, honestly. So with that being said, this is your reminder to watch 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later before 28 Years Later releases. now let's go ahead and move on to the moments that happened at the Golden Globes. So the last time I recorded, which was technically 2 weeks ago, that was when the Golden Globes was currently on TV. So I didn't realize it until after I was done recording. So I was like, oh, hey, we're going to talk about it eventually. But the thing is that since we're going to be covering like 2 weeks again worth of content, I'm just going to talk about the moments. Like all the winners, just go check it out on their website. There was one that I'm going to talk about eventually, but one of the moments that happened during the Golden Globes shocked me to my core. And that was when Vin Diesel was coming out to present the, box office achievement, whatever. Homeboy literally stood at the podium and the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "Hey, Dwayne." And I'm like, oh, what is happening? Like last time we talked about these two was whenever Vin Diesel and The Rock were literally feuding, and this was during like, I think it was whenever Dwayne was getting Hobbs and Shaw spinoff because he didn't want to be a part of the Fast and the Furious saga. And I forgot what was it. I didn't even understand who was in the reasoning. But you know how men are. So I feel like this whole like, "Hey, Dwayne," is a way of Vin Diesel trying to convince, The Rock, Dwayne, however you guys want to call him, to be a part again of the Fast saga. In case if you missed it, we're still waiting for the next Fast and the Furious movie, which happens to be the 11th. But I feel like this one's going to come out in 2026. And it left us on a cliffhanger, Fast X. So I'm assuming that eventually they're going to be, sharing the screen together because Fast X ended with the end credits with The Rock showing up. So I was like, wait, did they finally split the feud? So whenever Vin Diesel comes out and says, "Hey, Dwayne," again, I'm just like, okay, this looks friendly. But at the same time, I'm like, it doesn't. Like, it feels kind of awkward because Dwayne was smiling, but then that smile faded away. So I don't know. I'm confused like a lot of people, so yeah. Anywho, steering away from the awkwardness, we just want to say congratulations to Sebastian Stan for winning a Golden Globe for a different man, and this one was for male actor in a musical or comedy. During his speech, he basically did say, like, for example, he started off with, "Our ignorance and discomfort around disability and disfigurement has to end now." So in other words, like, he is encouraging actors to go ahead and play the roles that make them uncomfortable, because if they don't do it, nobody else would. And then at the end of the day, the people that are trying to make these movies are not gonna get those films out like they're supposed to, because at the end of the day, people have to make a living. So I'm like, okay, we all love Sebastian Stan no matter what. And then Anthony Mackie and Harrison Ford were coming out to present an award. And Anthony was just saying, "By the way, we're still friends with Sebastian Stan." And I could have sworn, because he says he's my, and he stops right there. And I even commented on the video that I saw. It's like, we all know he was trying to say, "He's my Pookie," And I love how right after my comment, I see somebody just go ahead and start a thread. And it starts off with, "Oh my God, Sebastian Stan." And so goes the comments after that, where people follow along and it says, "Man, you're looking good. You ever see a man walking in the streets, he's gonna get arrested because he's killing all the ladies. Pow, 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 pow." And I'm like, But anywho, there was a little mini reunion between those two, and Variety actually released some pictures where Anthony's like hugging out Sebastian Stan, like, you know how they are, they're broing it out. And I'm like, forget Chris Evans and Sebastian Stan. This is the duo that I want and need now. So this is what I need for 2025. Anywho, the last moment that I wanted to talk about that happened in the Golden Globes is when the award for Best Original Score Motion Picture was being presented. And you know me, I'm pretty sure you already know who I was rooting for. And yes, the winner was Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for the movie Challengers. When I was listening to it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy for them. And I was surprised that Trent did not speak whatsoever. So Atticus Ross was the one thanking for both of them. Also, keep in mind, this is not the first Golden Globe award that they have won. My boy even won an Oscar. I was like, what the hell? They won Oscars, they won Emmy Awards, and then for Golden Globes, this is the third win for them. Also, I did not know that they were behind the Soul soundtrack. Just so y'all know, that movie that's on Disney Plus, I love it. So I was like, damn. But anywho, back to this. So yeah, they won the award, and the moment they were announcing the winner, Elton John was there. And even my boy was shocked, and I'm like, if Elton gets excited for Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, we should all be excited because Elton is a diva. And I love the comment section. By the way, I saw this video on TikTok, and thank God it's still working so I can read people's thoughts. And somebody said Elton John had them as #1 on this Spotify rap. Another person would say Elton is so real for that, or Elton's reaction is so valid. Like, literally, come on. But congratulations to the duo once again. And that wraps up all I have for you guys in the movies category. Now let's go to the TV category. And the first things up that we're gonna talk about is The Last of Us Season 2 date confirmed. So we got like a mini trailer from Max, and they're just giving us clips of what to expect for the next coming season. And already I'm pissed. Why? And I keep saying it over and over again. Season 2 was not supposed to be the season where we're gonna see almost everything that happened in The Last of Us Part 2, the video game. So I'm not ready. I think a lot of us, including Pedro Pascal fans, are not ready for the season. But they did confirm that this season is going to be premiering on April of this year. So I'm like, oh, okay. Because supposedly last time I checked, it was supposed to be in January. But sure, okay. I'm alright with this because I still need to like fully prepare myself for what's going to happen. And again, there were a lot of people comparing the scenes that happened in this little sneak peek that we got. And yeah, almost everything was from the stuff that we saw in Part 2. So be prepared, guys. Anywho, let's go ahead and move on. So how I mentioned earlier, the California wildfires is going to be postponing a lot of entertainment projects, and one of them happens to be Fallout Season 2. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure the series is going to get delayed sometime later this year or maybe next year, depending how the cast and crew are doing. The good thing is that if I ever am craving like to watch the next season of Fallout, I can always just continue playing the video game until the series does come out. Anywho, in other news, we have heard that Rory McCann is confirmed to play Balin Skull in the second season of Ahsoka. In case you do not know who Rory McCann is, he played the infamous character the Hound in Game of Thrones. And so far, I feel like this is a good choice for him. And I'm pretty sure he will try to make Ray Stevenson proud. So once upon a time, do you guys remember when I mentioned that it is going to be having a prequel series called Welcome to Derry? Well, so far, this person by the name of Andy Muschietti, I think I'm pronouncing that right, supposedly they say that they're gonna have 3 seasons planned for this prequel series. And so far, the way how it's set into, season 1 is gonna be set in 1962, season 2 is gonna be set in 1935, and season 3 is gonna be set in 1908. So it's gonna be playing backwards and backwards so far. And yes, they did confirm that Bill Skarsgård will be returning as Pennywise, and the series will feature like a hardcore Pennywise that we probably have not seen before. Andy said in a quote, "It was fun. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. And there are parts of it where we got to explore sides of Pennywise that we haven't seen. There's some cool stuff in there. I'm excited for people to watch." And it is also said that this series is expected to release sometime between July until September of this year. The last thing I have for you guys in this category is that Disney is planning a Holes TV series reboot. Keep in mind, I never watch Holes. So apparently this movie came out in 2003. I was a child, so I don't know anything about that. But yeah, Disney Plus has ordered a pilot for this TV series reboot. So that can only mean that there's probably going to be new cast members and not the original cast members returning, maybe at an older age. And that wraps up all I have for you guys in the TV category. Now let's dive into music. Starting off with a possible collab between Ronnie Radke and Alex Terrible. So because of the wildfires, we already know that Ronnie Radke resides in California, and it all started with Alex messaging Ronnie about a song that he needed to send out, and he's like, oh, and this is how Ronnie responded, and he's like, I like him a lot. So Ronnie just started off with, I'm in the fires right now in Hollywood. This is incredible. Most chaotic thing I ever heard. And I'm assuming he's talking about the song and not the fire. So then Alex was like, wow, fuck. So did you evacuate? And Ronnie's like, fuck no, I'm burning in flames. And I'm like, oh my God. And Alex hearted the message. So Ronnie continues saying, I'll track this song while everything burns around me. And we see that he's sending him a video, but all we can see is just a screenshot for right now. And you see the actual fires. I'm like, oh my God. And Alex responded, mate, you are mental. But either way, I'm like, oh my God, if this collab goes, I mean, minus Tech 9, I can only imagine like them creating like another heavy song, because Rollin' was good. It was hella good. And now to top it off, oh my God, I'm ready, just so y'all know. And we're probably going to be talking about it just like what we did with Rollin'. But anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. So I want to say Knotfest interviewed Clown ahead of Slipknot's show in London. And so far the question was, and I wanted to talk about it really quick, of what is Clown's view on the eventual release of Look Outside Your Window. Remember, this is like a few sessions that him, Corey, and I forgot the other band members that worked on aside from the full Slipknot band members. And Cloud responded with saying it was never a Slipknot album. Not while it was happening, not while I've held on to it for 10 years, and certainly not fucking when it comes out. And he continues on saying, if any of that music could have been Slipknot, it would have been brought down to the studio. But that's not where Joey wanted to go. It's not where Paul wanted to go. It's not where Corey wanted to go. It's not where anyone wanted to go. We had All Hope Is Gone. So I just need people to know it's not Slipknot at all. It's not even close. Part of me, remember, Slipknot is one of my favorite bands, so I have every right to hate on them. But my thing is that it hasn't been the same since then. Like, after All Hope Is Gone, it hasn't been Slipknot. So, yeah. And I have a right to say that. As a fan, I have a right. There were 2 comments that I saw this, and this was posted by Knotfest, by the way. And both of them, I agree. Because one person by the name of Matt_Tuckett said, at this point, I'm convinced that the album doesn't even exist. Literally, that's what I think too. Another person by Dummy Damien said, at this point, I don't even want to listen to it. And I'm like, yeah, same. But I don't know, if they release it again, don't label it as Slipknot. So I don't know, like, it kind of contradicts Clown in a way if it does get released. But if it doesn't, then yeah, sure, at this point, again, it might not exist. Anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. To my surprise, I did not know this until later, but Kubla Khan Texas's frontman Matt Honeycutt decided to start a new YouTube channel where he's reviewing movies, and he calls it Movies with Matt Honeycutt. I swear to God, I watched the episode, by the way, and he does talk in details of why he loves the movie. But his voice, it's so soothing, and it makes me just go giddy for this guy. But yeah, when you listen to it, it's like, I can listen to this like as a podcast, honestly. My boy could do great in interviews. But either way, the first movie he reviews is Bloodsport. So definitely go check out the episode if you can. Again, like, Matt Honeycutt's voice is giving ASMR. It's like, I love it. I can't wait for the next episode. But anywho, let me go ahead and move it along. In case you missed it, Coldplay had a show in Abu Dhabi, and one person in attendance was none other than Till Lindemann. It was funny because you can actually see on the screen where Till was looking like he's taking a nap, and they wake him up and he's like, oh, hey, it's me, Till Lindemann. And he's wearing a shirt what looks like Till is interviewing Chris Martin, and Chris Martin was also wearing the same shirt later on. And I forgot what Chris was singing, but he was basically saying, Till Lindemann from Rammstein, we're huge fans, this and that. And so then Till goes and cheers on with his drink and leaves, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. So then Till posted a picture of him and Chris Martin, wearing the same shirt, and it's so hilarious. And on there, Till said, almost 25 years, difference in color, not in that form. Long Journey, The Head in the Sky, Feet in the Mud, studio air becomes perfume on stages, and people who can smell it get out of their lives are happy. And this was translated, by the way, so that's what Google Translate gave me. But then he ends up with saying Chappelle Coldplay. So yeah, I love that they have this friendship. I did not know though that that existed, but yeah. Anywho, in other news, Taking Back Sunday's drummer quits the band after 25 years. Mark O'Connell says that he didn't always feel the support that he needed with his sobriety during his tenure with the band. He did post his statement on social media, and at the very end he did say, "Speaking of, I'm excited to share that I'll be releasing new music soon, but as a solo artist and with some old friends. I pour my heart into this project and I can't wait to share it with you. This is a new chapter for me, one of passion, creativity, and hope. I hope you'll join me on this journey as we continue to be a part of each other's stories." So I saw this post on Rockfeed.net, and so far on the comment section, I feel like the fans support his decision. One person by the name of Wolf XX Blood XX said they broke him down so badly. Another person by the name of Californian Sad Boy says, "With the way Adam is at shows and how he's been singing, I would have eventually dipped too. I'm surprised it wasn't sooner. Sounds like he wanted to continue being a better person, and some members of the band kept pressing him and he did not want to relapse. Good for him, and looking forward to the solo material." Now with Mark's departure and then him expressing himself of the reasoning kinda why, I wonder if fans are still going to be listening to Taking Back Sunday. But anywho, in other news, Whitechapel announces a new album called Hymns in Dissonance. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And it is set to release on March 7th. We also got the track list for these songs. It's going to be 10 total, with the first one called Prisoner 666, and then the second one, Hymns in Dissonance. The third one's going to be called Diabolic Slumber. Number 4 is A Versicle Wrecked. I think pronouncing that right. Number 5 is Ex Infernus. Number 6 is going to be Hate Cult Ritual. Number 7, The Abysmal Gospel. Number 8, Bedlam. Number 9, Mammoth God. And lastly, number 10, Nothing Is Coming for Any of Us. I seriously need to put Whitechapel on my radar to see what to expect for this new album. So anywho, Whitechapel fans, get excited. The next thing I have for you guys, and this one I am leaving it in the music category and not mentioning it earlier because it is having to do with music, and this is 9 Inch Nails. So apparently there have been rumors going around that they're going to be on tour soon, which again, I did not know this. I know last episode we talked about that supposedly they might release new music, and I just, said, oh, I don't think it's going to happen. But they released a statement and they said, since some dates and information about our world tour have been leaked, we are confirming that yes, we will be touring and we'll provide more details soon, but we are all watching the devastation that is unfolding in California and have paused our announcement while people try to deal with all that is happening. Well, gee, thanks for the heads up. So now I gotta save more money because I am planning to go see them live, and I'm hoping there is a Texas stop too. But stay tuned until further notice, and when it does get released, we'll talk about it. The next thing I have for you guys is that Killswitch Engage announced new headline tour dates, but this time it's gonna be with Shadows Fall, Fit for a King, and Boundaries. So we got 6 days total. One of them, it starts off on May 10 at Indianapolis, Indiana, May 11 at Memphis, Tennessee, May 13 in New Orleans, Louisiana, May 14 in Birmingham, Alabama, and that one is at the Avondale Brewing Company, and then May 17 at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and lastly May 18 at Virginia Beach, Virginia at the Dome. Tickets are already on sale, so get some while you can if you are planning to attend. The next thing we need to talk about is the lineup for Rockfest. This is gonna be held in Wisconsin on July 16, 17, 18, and 19, which 19 is on a Saturday, so yeah. The lineup. Okay, so Wednesday, they're going to have what they call a bonus bash, I want to say. They're going to have a few bands in there. I saw Eve 6, Drowning Pool, and a few others that I haven't heard. But let me talk about Thursday, July 7th. Headlining, apparently it's gonna be Rob Zombie, but then underneath it, I was like, oh my god, I wish I could go. Sweet Jesus. We got Knock Loose, we got Slaughter to Freaking Prevail, we got The Architects, Crossfade, Kubla Khan, Texas, The Plotting You, Trap 2, Attila, and so many more. I'm like, damn, I wish I could go, because that sounds really sick, honestly. And then on Friday, July 18, we got Five Finger Death Punch, which, meh. Honestly, Slaughter to Prevail should have been on Friday, because, I mean, they would have a mini reunion with Five Finger Death Punch and Marilyn Manson. So, alongside with them, we also have In This Moment, Nothing More, Vendit is gonna be in there, Mushroom Head, and so many other more. But then Saturday, you thought that was good enough. You thought. Saturday, July 19th, we got Bad Freaking Omens headlining. I'm like, golly. But then they're also going to be joined with 3 Days Grace. And then I got thrown off because after 3 Days Grace, and then Poppy too at that. But between them, we got Ja Rule. What is he doing there? Like, literally, Ariana, what are you doing in here? It makes no freaking sense. And I kind of want to see how that goes. But alongside with them, we also have We Come As Romans, Sick Puppy, Scene Queen, The Funeral Portrait, Archer, Return to Dust, and so many other more. I want to say tickets are on sale, and I actually got to see how much it would be to get the pass for all the days. We're talking like $1,000. And I was like, I'm cutting my losses there because I know I'm not going to be able to make it for $1,000 as much as I love to. And even though I did say I don't do festivals, yeah, no, but I would love to go. Just saying, I would have loved to go. But yeah, oh well. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the lineup for Festival Mystic. This is a jam-packed weekend as well, where it starts off on June 4th and then all up until Saturday on June 7th. What is up with all these festivals starting on Wednesday and not having a Sunday date, you know? But anywho, and keep in mind, this is going to be in Poland, so not here in the States. So on June 4th, what they call warm-up day, they're going to have Exodus, Jerry Cantrell, Whitechapel, and then we also have a TBA under here, which is odd. But then again, I'm pretty sure it has to be a surprise. But then they also have Midnight, Combi Christ. I haven't heard Combi Christ in so long. Like, I listened to them whenever the movie The Collector came out because they feature one of their songs. But yeah, it's been a minute. And then they also have Bewitcher, Witch Club Satan, Soulburn, and many more. But then on the next day, on June 5th, which is on a Thursday, headlining will be In Flames, Suicidal Tendencies, Eagle of Death Metal, Imminence, Bullet from My Valentine, Perturbator, Polaris, Beharith, also a TBA band under here, and many more. And then the next day, on Friday, June 6th, we have King Diamond headlining alongside with Opeth, Ginger, Green Lung, Wasp, Cradle of Filth, Health, another TBA, Hatebreed, Cattle Decapitation, Signs of the Swarm, Celestial Sanctuary, I Hate God, but it's spelled like I as in EYE, and then many more. Lastly, on June 7th, headlining will be Sepultura, Apocalyptica, Drank Tranquility, Landmarks, I want to say that's what it's called, Blood, Fire, and Death, which is a tribute band for Bathory, I think that's how you pronounce it, Vader, Tiamat, Paleface Swiss, another TBA, Municipal Waste, Pentagram, I'm assuming it's either MOL or MOL, and many more. So if you're in Poland or planning to travel to Poland for Festival Mystic, those tickets are on sale. The next festival announcement I have for you guys is in Boston, Massachusetts, which is going to be at the Harvard Athletic Complex, and that is called Boston Calling Musical Festival. This festival is going to be taking place in May 23rd to the 25th. And so far, yes, this one does start on a Friday, ends on a Sunday. On May 23rd, they're going to be having Luke Combs, Megan Maroney, Sheryl Crow, T-Pain, TLC, Mike Period or Mike Dot. I never heard of him. And many more. But then I was surprised to see that on Saturday, May 24th, literally it's like emo music. What is this? When We Were Young festival. We got Fall Out Boy, Avril Lavigne, Cage the Elephant, The Black Crowes, All Time Low, The Main, and many more. But just to top it off, on Sunday, May 25th, we got Dave Matthews Band, Vampire Weekend, Sublime, Public Enemy, Remi Wolf, Goth Babe, Tom Morello, and many more. So if you guys are interested in attending, tickets are also on sale. And the last thing I have for you guys in the music category, and this one is going for my local Houston fans. So we have the lineup for the Houston Rodeo, and I have thoughts for it. So I'm not gonna get into the whole like, oh, who's gonna be here for the country artists, because you already know me. I hate country with a passion. But some of the ones that I was like really hoping for was for Tejano Day, and to see who was gonna be here in the rock category. And I was like happy and disappointed at the same time. I was happy because on Go Tejano Day we have Grupo Frontera, and that is like one of my favorite, regional Mexican bands. Literally, I love their music. It's like a different tone compared to other regional Mexican music. So there's that. And I really, really do want to go, but this is like one of those concerts where you definitely need to go with somebody that you love. So I'm like, I feel like if I don't find a man sooner or later, I'm probably gonna go to some random dating app and just be like, I need a date for Grupo Frontera. But no, I don't know, because it's gonna be in March, so I don't think I have enough time. But then we also found out that Journey was gonna be here for the rock category, and I was pissed. I'm sorry, because I know there are some old fans that love Journey. I'm not one of them, but I was expecting like, I don't know, Creed or something. I'm like, give me something a little bit more modern and not old school. But then again, I'm like, but when it comes to like, for example, Go Tejano Day, we also have Post Malone coming in. And by the way, I'm going to go see Post Malone. And yeah, even though he's country, I'm like hoping that he will probably, play Rockstar in some of the oldies. Hopefully it's not too country, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm like, come on, Houston Rodeo. Why you always got to do rock fans dirty like that? But it was just those little things I wanted to talk about. So yeah, if you guys are planning to be at the Houston Rodeo, those tickets are on sale. And again, I will be at Post Malone, so hopefully you guys will see me then. And that's all I have for you guys in the music category. And now let's talk about gaming. And I only have 4 things to talk about. One of them in particular is one of the things that I'm very excited for, and that is the Nintendo Switch 2. I was surprised to hear the news, and when I saw the design, I'm like, hell to the fucking yes. As long as the controllers do not have a drift, I am so trading my console for sure. When I saw the trailer for this console, it looks like the controllers actually snap in and not like where you slide them up and down like on the first controllers. I think the most important thing that every console should be now is backwards compatible. So yes, the Nintendo 2 will be backwards compatible, thank freaking God, because I was not finna like rebuy all of those games just to replay them again. There is a possibility though that we might have a new Mario Kart game, which I'm like, okay, good, because I'm still planning to use the Mario Kart 8, but then, use the other one just in case if we run out of maps and God knows what. And Nintendo did confirm that this system will be releasing on April 2nd, so I'm so excited. But yeah, it looks like it's an all black design, but like the interior of it still has like the colors, like the red and the blue. So who knows, what if we end up getting the other controllers? Because my favorite one, which is the one that I currently have, is the neon green and pink. Even though I don't like pink, that's my favorite one so far, so we'll see. And we're gonna go ahead and move it along. Already we have a game that has been delayed, and no surprise, is Assassin's Creed Shadow. So it's gonna be delayed once again until March 20th. At this point, I just say scrap the game, because I have a feeling a lot of people are not gonna play it. IGN posted the news and the comment section. This is why. One person said, "Is there anybody actually planning to play it?" Another person said, "Fine by me, to be honest. I'd rather have a finished game than a broken one." So I guess they support that. But another person did say, "Whatever you do, do not support Ubisoft." So yeah, do what you will with that information. The next thing I have for you guys, and this is still Nintendo, I forgot to mention it earlier, but they announced a collaboration with Lego to bring you guys the Lego Game Boy, and it is planned to launch this October. It says here that Nintendo revealed alongside a brief trailer that showed a literal handful of bricks and the iconic purple buttons and the directional pad. And so far, I think everybody's question, including myself, are wondering, is it going to be functional? Because if you know, there are some Legos that you can actually work with, like the Pac-Man arcade one. And I wonder if there was a Nintendo console that works. You know which one I'm talking about. And the last thing I have for you guys is that Halo might possibly be heading to PlayStation this year. So IGN reported this, and they said Microsoft is seemingly ready to launch its flagship Xbox video game series Halo on rival platforms for the first time, and this does include PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch too. So Halo fans, we're gonna have to make the shift, unless if you're still gonna be loyal to Xbox. Do what you will too with that information. And that's the last thing I have for you guys in the gaming category. Now let's talk about wrestling. I know we're so delayed, so we're going to be talking about Raw on Netflix. It was a bittersweet moment for a lot of us, including myself, because we grew up watching Raw on TV, but it never occurred to us that it's going to be on a streaming service like Netflix of all places. I absolutely love the presentation they gave us the moment it premiered, 2 weeks ago? Oh my gosh. And then Papa H bringing down the curtain. I wish I was there. Like, literally it looked like a party, especially like when Jey Uso came out, but that was like later on through the show. I would have had like a sign of, SpongeBob, leaning down to what it was, a wall, but I would insert Triple H's picture and then I'll be like, "Thank you, Papa H." So yeah, I think the first thing that people noticed besides Papa H was how many sponsorships were on the ring. The first thing we saw was Fortnite, and I'm like, oh my god. The good thing it was just for that one night, because last week's episode we didn't get to see that logo, and I was like, anywho, congratulations are underway now that Roman Reigns is the true OTC, the one true chief, the only tribal chief, the original tribal chief. And now that he defeated Solo, now we're trying to figure out what's gonna happen with both Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. My theory is that Roman is slowly picking up the pieces to rebuild the Roman Empire, but not like that, or try to bring back the bloodline. So I understand when like Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre are like having their guards up for that possibility that Roman is gonna go back as heel. Either way, like, the fans are still gonna be acknowledging Roman as the tribal chief, whether if it's like good or bad. And then another thing I also noticed, I don't know if y'all got to see it, but on social media, WWE posted a video. Same thing, Roman is now back as the head of the table. But then all of a sudden, like, him and Paul Heyman, walk into a room, shut the door, and it says 2K25, the video game from WWE. So what could this possibly mean? Will Roman be on the cover of WWE 2K25? Dun dun dun. And then here's another fun fact in case you didn't notice, but our tribal chief was actually sporting some Kobe 9 Elites. I'm not big like on shoe things, but when there was a press conference and Roman Reigns was there, one person, pointed it out, and Roman talked about like, he has mad respects for Kobe Bryant, and since they were in LA, he just wanted to go ahead and, pay his respects while still sporting the shoes. So more reasons why we shouldn't be hating on Roman right now. After that match, there were still a few things that I wanted to point out that happened during the premiere. Of course, we already knew John Cena was going to be making his ring return, but he wasn't there to compete just yet. He came out, telling everybody what his plan is for his last year in ring competition. And he mentioned like the 17-time champ, you know, breaking that record that him and Ric Flair are currently tied in. And he was like, no, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, and then he just started off with the selling point. He's like, I mean, I will have to win the Royal Rumble. And then people were like, wait a second, like, hold up. And then he's like, but if that doesn't work, then I will have to compete in Elimination Chamber. And everybody's like, what? Then he mentioned Money in the Bank. It's like he's giving us hope that there is a possibility of a reign, and I did not think about that. And so since he did mention that, you know, possibly entering the Royal Rumble, he became the first person to announce that he will be participating as one of the entrants. Who knows if he's going to be the first one or, you know, maybe the last one. But we already talked about the entrants that are going to be there, and yes, it is jam-packed. So I don't know. Could John Cena be that person to break that record? Oh my god, I can't wait to see it. I also mentioned that it was like a party during the premiere because when Jey Uso came out, it was like yeeting everywhere. And the thing that I love the most is the comeback of the iconic duo Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. And the thing I love about Pat McAfee whenever Jey Uso comes out is that my boy will actually get on top of the commentary table, and then he's over there, you know, yeeting and whatnot. And Michael Cole was like, all right, why not? So my boy literally also got up. They were both, you know, yeeting and God knows what. And I'm like, Michael Cole's having like the time of his life, and I love it because he was giving dad vibes because Pat McAfee was also like, wait for the beat to drop Cole. And I'm like, oh my god. See, this is why I love them. And I'm like, it's one of those times where I wish I was there. Like, they were having a blast. Hell, I was just watching it being all jealous and God knows what. Also, did y'all notice how badly booed Hulk Hogan got whenever he came out? At first, like, whenever I heard it, I was like, are they booing him? I'm like, finally. But I only said that because I'm already sick and tired of seeing Hulk Hogan just coming out, wasting my damn time. Like, I get it. He was a legend during that time, but I'm more modernized. So I'm like, I mean, nah. And then with all his history going on, I was like, not my cup of tea, right? So I was like, oh, great. Here we go again. And I thought he was just going to waste time saying, what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild? Whatever. But the boo, right? I was like, what the fuck is going on? So obviously, me being nosy, I started looking around to see why. And a lot of people were saying it was because of politics, and I'm not going to get into that. But once I say that, I'm like, okay, if we're going to talk about politics, how come they didn't do the same thing with Undertaker? So I don't think it was just politics. I think it was just something that was going on with Hulk Hogan because they were saying that he was like abusing his girlfriend, ex, I don't even know. But it was just so bad to the point that the fans are just fed up with it. The only thing I do want to point out is that Jimmy Hart kind of didn't deserve the boos. Like, what did my boy do? Like, he's innocent. He's just coming out, doing his thing. And then, yeah, obviously the boos were towards Hulk Hogan, but we kind of need to, you know, apologize to Jimmy Hart. Just saying, okay? Whenever I saw the post on WWE, one person by the name of Harday_on37 said, Hogan backstage, wow, they really didn't like you out there, Jimmy. I'm like, oh my god. See, and this is what I mean. Go apologize to Jimmy right now. And then the comparison started happening whenever we got the camera panning to Macaulay Culkin. And I was like, what's he doing over here? And I forgot he's a big WWE fan, including his brother. But hang on. So when we saw Macaulay come out, like he was like wearing a hat that said Papa, and then he lifts it up. Everybody started going nuts, right? And people were saying, man, this man had a better pop than Hulk Hogan. I'm like, well, yeah. It was so funny too because, well, obviously he was not the only celebrity in there. There were so many others. But like later on, WWE posted another video, and I want to say this was like after the episode wrapped up and it was off air. But like CM Punk was leaving out of the ring, and all of a sudden Kieran Culkin shows up out of nowhere, and he is like, hey, huge fan, you know. And CM Punk's like, didn't you just win an award? And Kieran all casually, yeah, I won a Golden Glove. This is how I celebrate. I'm like, My boy. I really love it. I do want to see the brothers like next to each other for once, you know, and then enjoying WWE together. But obviously, yeah, they grew up on wrestling, so even more reasons why I love the Culkin brothers. So yeah. Also, let the record show, I was shocked when I saw Richard Gadd in there. I was like, he's a wrestling fan? Like, what is he doing here? And yes, I think he also won a Golden Glove, you know, for Baby Reindeer. I'm like, sweet Jesus. But yeah, I was glad to see him there too. The last thing I have for Raw Netflix category for the premiere is that Mommy is back. I am so happy that she finally has the World Women's Championship. We knew it was gonna happen, but I'm like, about damn time, you know. And if you think about it, just like how I mentioned last week's episode, or you know, whatever, the previous episode, is that we have pink and black as championship. Literally, if you think of those houses that are in California, and by the way, they survived the fires, is the one that's like in a pink house right next to a black house. Yeah, that's literally Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley. Or, you know, Wednesday Addams and her bestie Enid. So who knows? Maybe I would love to see Tiffany and Rhea together, but not like fighting against each other, but like, you know, tag teaming like they did that one time. And speaking of new champs, now we're gonna go ahead and shift to NXT New Year's Evil. I'm only gonna talk about two things really quick. Congratulations to Julia. Now we have a new women's champion. So I'm like, oh my god, we have all women's like changing titles all of a sudden for this new era. But I love how there was a video that was shared showing backstage where Julia was getting, you know, celebrated and congratulated, one by Triple H and then the other one by Shawn Michaels. So you would think like, oh, these two people from DX all of a sudden running WWE, but they're giving titles to people who deserve it. So Julia's one of them. And I just love how she just kept bowing at them because, you know, for Japanese tradition, she's just like thanking them. And then just to wrap up, you know, New Year's Evil, Obafemi defeated Trick Williams for the NXT champion. So now, yeah, we have two champions of NXT, and same thing, it is the new era. So I'm just like, I wonder what's gonna happen after that. Like for Trick Williams, for example, I'm assuming, I think everybody else too, that maybe potentially he will end up in Royal Rumble entering and then making that shift. But I have some fears, doubts, because the way how Carmelo was, like, he was over there at the top, but right now he's not there. So I'm just like, maybe Trick Williams might change it, maybe not, I don't know, or spend more time at NXT, God knows what. But either way, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. Roxanne, for sure, we know she's gonna stick around in NXT, because it looks like whenever she did her promo this past Tuesday, she's like ready to do something. I don't know what. Maybe, of course, enter to the Women's Royal Rumble, because she's over there beefing it up with Bayley, and I don't think Bayley eventually will probably go to NXT, or maybe she is, I don't know, we'll see. But anywho, let me go ahead and move it along. So this past episode on Raw on Netflix, we finally got to see the debut of Penta, not Pentagon Jr., you know, or Penta Cero Miedo. We're just calling him Penta here on Raw. And the thing is that for some reason, like right before, like we knew he was gonna show up because Chad Gable was like, oh, like I want to fight someone. It has to be specifically a luchador. And I'm like, really? You know, we already saw like his logo appear, you know, Penta's. And then all of a sudden, literally the day of Raw, like maybe a couple hours before it was supposed to premiere, Penta's merch dropped and WWE Shop made the announcement. And I was surprised. Okay, thank God I wasn't an affiliate at the time, because I would have been like, Fanatics, what is going on? But when Penta debuted, Michael Cole was literally like, the worst kept secret of WWE. And I'm like, why though? Like, we wanted to be hyped. And even then, after Penta's match, he still gave a badass promo. A lot of people were saying that it was so much better than Ricochet's promo in AEW. I'm like, god damn. And Penta even spoke in Spanish. Like, he said it with loud and proud, and even the crowd, like, they were in San Jose at the time. but the crowd was just like, hell yeah, you know. But anywho, another thing that also happened, you know, this past Monday was that we finally got the winner of the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So congratulations to Lyra Valkyria. I was rooting for her, so I'm glad that she won. And already we are assuming that eventually Dakota Kai is gonna want to have a rematch for that championship. So we'll see. The next thing that I'm noticing, and I wanted to talk about it really quick, is that there's a possibility too that Alexa Bliss might come back. Why do I say this? Because she posted, I follow her, I've been following her for so long, and she posted this picture of her when she was having that gimmick with Lily the doll. You know, I think this was before Bray Wyatt passed away, so she still had that gimmick going on. And when she posted it, people are saying, oh yeah, she has to come back as the goddess at least, or something. So I'm over here thinking maybe it's a possibility. So stay alert if that happens. But I want to see her like more often, even if it has to be part-time. Like, I want to see her wrestle. Like, she can do it. She got it. The next possible return, and I want to say too, it's gonna happen in Royal Rumble. It has to be Charlotte Flair. So SmackDown, I didn't even pay attention, by the way. I thought it was like a promo for Tiffany Stratton, but no. They started showing like a little video, and I don't know what was going on until I looked up, and all of a sudden I saw Charlotte Flair, and I'm like, she's coming back, you know. And a lot of people are hating. Why? Because everybody thinks that WWE is gonna hand her the title, and I'm just like, y'all forget Papa H is in charge. If anything, she's gonna shift the women's division, but I have a feeling eventually she's probably gonna have like the United States Championship for a while. But when it comes to like the women's championship, it's gonna be a minute. Let Tiffany shine, or hell, let Tiffany be her, and then, you know, Charlotte's probably gonna go through this whole gimmick like, oh no, like, I'm better, I was always better, like, I need to rebuild myself, kind of something like that. I don't know. But yeah, people were like not having it, so we'll see. But I have a feeling she's gonna return during Royal Rumble too. The other news we have in this category is that Bad Bunny possibly spilled the location for Backlash this coming year. So rumor has it, and people have been speculating too, because WWE has been hiring a lot of luchadores. Like, we have Stephanie Vicaire, and now we have Penta. So this is coming from Rolling Stone, and Bad Bunny says Backlash will be in Mexico City. And I'm like, I need to go back. So, I mean, I was planning to go like around that time to see if my TikTok will work, but I'm like, even more reasons. And I'm pretty sure the way how these tickets are gonna go, it's gonna sell out. I have a feeling. But whenever I mention this to my dad, he thinks that they're probably gonna have it at the Palacio de los Deportes, because it's like hella huge. And I'm like, let them have it. Hell, have it at Foro Sol if anything, but it needs to be in a big ass venue, because I already know people are gonna buy tickets for that. Even if it's like us Americans, because hell, it's like not even that far. And speaking on this, even more reasons of why it might sell out. Supposedly, Triple H might have teased a major WWE return for Bad Bunny. And if that's the case, yeah. So much for me trying to see them in Mexico City. But in case you didn't know, Bad Bunny did release an album, and it's more reasons why I'm excited to turn 30 for once, because he actually mentions it in the lyrics. So I'm like, okay. All right, I feel a little bit momentum going on. But when he released the album, Triple H tweeted, quote, "Congrats on the new album, you know, San Benito. After hearing it, I can see it clearly. New tracks echo through the stadium while you make your way down that aisle to the ring. Epic. Talk soon." So I'm like, But I don't know just yet, because remember, Bad Bunny is also gonna have his residency tour in Puerto Rico, so I don't know. It's a possibility, but again, this is from Ringsider News, so don't quote me on that. The next announcement we got for you guys is that WWE and TNA Wrestling announced a multi-year partnership and are thinking about having crossover opportunities within the brands. And this is mostly focused on NXT superstars and TNA wrestlers. So I'm like, are we gonna be having possibility Dolph Ziggler coming back. And I only say that because he's actually competing right now at TNA Genesis. Obviously, I don't have pay-per-view money, so I'm not going to be able to watch it. And he's going up against Joe Hendry. So yeah, I miss Joe. So where is he? I said his name. The next thing I have for you guys is technically like some drama that's been going on backstage. And I wanted to leave it for here because I wanted to keep you guys updated on what we missed like literally 2 weeks ago. But have you guys noticed that Corey Graves is like MIA right now? So obviously Pat McAfee and Michael Cole got shifted to Raw. And I thought that Corey Graves was still going to be on SmackDown. But next thing you know, we saw Wade Barrett and the other guy's name that I so forgot right now that I'm not even going to bother looking it up. But they got moved to SmackDown. And then when we tuned into New Year's Evil, we got to see Corey Graves there. And I'm just like, what happened, you know? I thought he was just supporting the commentary team just for that night. But people were saying like my boy got demoted or something. And he expressed his frustrations online. So I don't know if it was a skit or God knows what. Because then after he expressed his frustrations, he's no longer in NXT. So yeah, and some people were thinking, and again, I did too. I'm like, is this a skit for some reason? And people were starting to put on their predictions like, oh, what if this is like some kind of momentum going on to WrestleMania and Corey Graves is trying to return to the ring and his first opponent would be Pat McAfee, for example, because when he expressed his frustration, he was like pointing out at, I think it was Pat McAfee, because he was saying, oh, I got replaced by ESPN guys, kind of in a way. And yeah, I mean, I hate to admit it, but Corey Graves does have the experience. Like, he had the growth. Obviously, he wasn't able to wrestle anymore, so he had to shift to something else. And when he was in commentary, he did a good job. And of course, you know, fans hated him for what's been happening like behind the scenes and whatnot. But if I were to look at him like professionally speaking, he did a good ass job. I also love whenever he points out like metal band members, especially like when Motionless in White was performing at WrestleMania. So I'm like, yeah, I love that. So I kind of feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, I'm like, what's going on? Like, my boy, like, don't do that. Like, professionally speaking, like, don't throw out your frustrations on social media thinking that, you know, WWE might reconsider. Like, you know, damn well that's not gonna happen. So I don't know, but yeah, that it's the what if possibility that if this all a skit and Corey Graves right now being MIA is possibly meaning that he's just training to make his in-ring comeback and potentially speaking going up against Pat McAfee. So I don't know, only time would tell. And the last thing I have for you guys is 2 matches that have been confirmed for Saturday night's main event. So this is gonna be this coming Saturday, January 25th. The first match that was announced was going to be Gunther versus Jey Uso, which we kind of already know Gunther's going to retain. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad they're giving Jey Uso the opportunity at least. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to be on the plane landing whenever Saturday night's main event is happening. So I'll probably be watching it on my phone, you know, trying to get my stuff and then come back home and all of that. So hopefully I'll be able to catch it on time. So yeah. Then the next one, which is so intense, and I really do hope I manage to watch this one. It's Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. These two are crazy. And they did a segment just to kind of like support the match that's going to be coming out where Braun and Jacob were kind of like standing next to each other. But I'm like, my boy Jacob, he's so short and whatnot. So I don't know who could possibly win. I have a feeling it's going to be Jacob though, because it's been a while. So I feel like that's probably a possibility. Either way, I can already tell this match is going to be intense. They did added a segment that's also going to be happening where Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens are going to be signing a contract, and it's going to be moderated by Shawn Michaels. I mean, it has to be because my boy is a San Antonio native, and like, I wish if I would have known ahead of time, I would have done the crazy thing and like go from New York, fly to San Antonio just for Saturday night's main event, and then come back to Houston. So that would have been awesome, but no, I didn't know, so we'll see. But anywho, with that being said, that wraps up this week's episode. As always, make sure to follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at It's Lielers. And also, do not forget to follow me on TikTok since it hasn't been banned at Lielers. Lielers on TikTok. I'm really happy that, it's still up and going. I still keep checking my TikTok. I'm like, please don't be banned. Like, I'm already traumatized. But we'll see what's going to happen eventually. But again, if you're not in America, just follow me on TikTok. And also, I'm going to start adding this now since I'm an affiliate. If you guys are going to be shopping merchandise at WWE, make sure to follow my link tree where you can follow the links on there. It will support me so much. So yeah, stock up on your WWE merch while you can. And also do not forget that next week there will not be a podcast episode because I will be coming back from my trip in New York. But do expect a blog video of all the things that I'm gonna do. It's so crazy because the weather is gonna be really bad and yet I'm still gonna do it. So just a heads up again, if you guys are anywhere in America, we are going through a freeze. So it's hella cold, obviously. I want to say it is 37 degrees as we speak. It's so cold outside, so please, for the love of God, stay warm. Of course, many Texans like us, we have a bad experience when it comes to freezing temperatures where the power might go out or, obviously the pipes are frozen and there's not running water. So we'll see how that's going to go. But the thing I'm kind of excited about is, for once, finally, it's going to snow in Houston. They're saying that it is going to snow on Tuesday. So if you guys are not experienced of driving in the snow, just stay home, stay indoors. I miss the snow. I remember when I was back in my hometown in Alabama, it snowed a lot and I miss it. So I'm like, oh, finally I get to see some snow before I head to New York. And I'm praying and hoping they don't freaking delay my flight because I'm leaving on Wednesday. It's going to be normal temperatures in a way. But yeah, I'm going to be experiencing 11-degree weather while I'm in New York. So yeah, let's just pray and hope I don't end up like Pollito. R.I.P. my baby. But anywho, yeah, don't expect a podcast episode next week. So that's why go subscribe to the YouTube channel while you can. So you get first dibs whenever the blog video does go out. If you guys haven't seen New York City and all of that. And yeah, that was the main reason why I'm going to go, not only for my birthday, but also because I'm tired of people asking me what's it like in New York City. I've been asked that question since I was a child. Well, yeah, like a child. It was before I was a teenager. So yeah. So now when people ask me what's it like in New York City, I can finally give them an answer. So far, I'm gonna say it's hella cold in the winter. So yeah, I'm excited. So I can't wait to go and come back and update you guys afterwards. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this week's episode, and I will talk to you guys on the next one.